לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. Please rise for the tefillah, which begins on page 93. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, v'Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, v'Koneh HaKol, v'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, u'mevii geula livnei v'neihem, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. God of all generations, of Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, of Sarah, Rebekah, Leah, and Rachel, be praised. Your wondrous creative power fills heaven and earth. God of life and death, be praised. Through us, send help to the falling, healing to the sick, freedom to the captive. Confirm your faithfulness to those who sleep in the dust. Awesome and holy God, be praised. With acts of love and truth, we hallow your name. As it is said, be holy, for I, your eternal God, am holy. God of times and seasons, be praised. Enable us through Sabbath rest to explore and learn and impart the meanings of your Torah. Make our hearts ready to serve you this day and all days. God, who answers prayer, be praised. May we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer, wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands, you are our God. Source of life and its wonders, be praised. You are the miracle within all we behold. You are goodness. You are compassion. We give thanks to you forever. Please join me with the paragraph under the Hebrew. God of peace, of justice, and of love, be praised. Inspire us to banish forever hatred, war, and bloodshed. Help us to establish forever one human family united in peace. God of peace, bless us with peace. At this point in time, you get a chance to say the prayers that are in your heart instead of just the words that we tell you to say. Take a moment to say the prayers that you feel you want to say. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, be acceptable to you. Adonai, my rock and my redeemer. God, my rock and redeemer. hearts and our prayers now turn to those who are ill or recuperating as we turn to the inside back cover of our prayer books. I'm going to call out some names, but I turn off the microphone because I'm told that we're streaming again. Things in the microphone get streamed. Included in our prayers today for healing and recuperation are Carrie Bollinger, Brian Day, Keith Nathan and Mabel Jane Cruz, John Frazier, Stephanie Gamble, Emily Gibson, David Glick, Elena Howard, Jen Castillo-Hurst, Sophie Lipo, Vicki Marks, Cecile Murov, Molly Neustadt, Angie Nolani, Rita Rabinowitz, Nancy Rice, Emily Simpson, Sister Mary Joan, Virginia Walker, Steve Wright, Martha Ann and Blair and Sella Young, and Gigi Zielinski. If you have other names you want us to add to our prayers, I invite you to call them out. For all these names, for the names we choose to hold in our hearts, we pray out loud. Well, God, in our hearts, we name those who are facing illness and pain. We join our prayers with the prayers of all who love them. Give them renewed comfort and courage. Strengthen in them the healing powers you have placed within us all. Guide the hands and hearts of those who are entrusted with their care. May the knowledge of your love and ours give added hope to them and to their dear ones. May they find even greater strength because our prayers are linked to theirs. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofeh HaCholim. We praise you, eternal God, the source of healing and health. Mi sheberach avotenu mekor habracha the source of strength, who bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach Mikor habracha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Come to add, Mishaberach avotenu ve'imotenu. May the one who blessed and protected our ancestors guard all those whom we've entrusted with the responsibility of defending our freedom and protecting us. In this country, in the land of Israel, and everywhere they've been called to serve, may they return home safely, including her dad. And let us say, Amen. So at this point in the service, I'm going to call up Kesler, who's going to tell you things. She's going to introduce herself as much as she feels she wants. Welcome. I'm glad you're here.
Me too. Okay.
Do this. How's that?
Can everybody hear me?
Now they can.
Okay. If I need to speak up, just wave to me in the back. So my name is Kesler. I'm more than happy to get into my name at another time, but it's not extremely interesting. And I kind of want to tell you a little bit more about my favorite part of Judaism, and in turn kind of tell you about myself. So my favorite part is also Shabbat. It's really something that I have grown to love. So I grew up in San Antonio, Texas, which has a pretty big Jewish community. I'm the youngest of 4 kids, and my we're all very close. And growing up, I hated how different my family was from everybody else, you know. We kind of have, even in the secular world, you know, we have kind of a weird house, and my parents are different, and I was, you know, you're just like embarrassed as a kid. You want to be the same. That's what I wanted. And even, you know, in the Jewish world, we didn't even do the Jewish things, you know, like everybody else. So we didn't go to the synagogue that all my friends went to, and that was upsetting. And, you know, our tunes that we sang at my house were different, and it was just upsetting, you know. I wanted to be a part of it. And when we did Shabbat, my mom allowed my brothers to light the candles with my sister and I, and we all sang Kiddush together. And I mean, that's not traditional. You know, the women light the candles and the men traditionally sing Kiddush, but that's not the way that we did it in my family. And like I said, our tunes were different. And it kind of translated over when I went to my friends' houses for Shabbat, and I would do the parts of Shabbat that I did in my house, but they didn't do it at their house, you know, and sing the tunes differently. And it was just hard. I hated it. And you know, I grew up and I adjusted, and I started to slowly, you know, not be embarrassed by my parents and things like that just happen as time, you know, goes on. And about 2 years ago, I went to, spent a Shabbat in South Africa. And it was in an Orthodox synagogue, which is not my personal practice. But there was something about that Shabbat. It was in an extremely old synagogue, and there were men. There was a minyan of men in the center of the shul, and they were all wearing t-shirt and jeans. They were like, no one was dressed up, and it was this Orthodox shul. And I was sitting with my sister, and my dad and my brother were down below, and I felt like I was being transported back in time, you know? I mean, there was power, there was spirit, and I felt it, and I felt like I was a part of something, you know? And that sort of led to my own personal Jewish journey, which is also crooked and different, and, you know, which is a theme, you know, in all of our lives. That Shabbat sort of led me here. And you know, as I grew in my own Jewish identity, I started learning more about Jewish philosophers, and I started reading texts, and it's interesting, it's really exciting, and it's really it's a lot juicier than I ever thought it was. And I read something really simple, but really profound about Shabbat. So, you know, as we know, God rested on this day. So, you know, he created the world, and then on Shabbat, he rested. And it's something that we all hear from the very beginning. And it wasn't ever something that I thought seriously about until I started reading, you know, started learning a little bit. And I read about this Jewish philosopher, and he mentioned the significance of that Judaism, what separates Judaism from other religions, is that God rested on the 7th day. And so I'm like, okay, that's great. Yeah, we all know that, you know. But that was the first day, that was the first thing that was made holy, was Shabbat, ever, in the Torah. The word holy, Kadesh, that was the first thing that God made holy, was Shabbat. It wasn't a place. It wasn't an action. It was a time. That's awesome, you know? That's different. It was a time. It wasn't Jerusalem that was holy first. It was that was the very first thing that he made holy, and that separates Judaism, you know? And it made me kind of think and realize that that made it possible for me to have this special Shabbat in Johannesburg, not where I'm used to having Shabbats. It made it possible for me to have Shabbat in the middle of a road trip, in the middle of a desert. You know, you light the candles and you drink wine and you recognize the time. It's a time, and it just happens. Wherever you are, it just happens, you know? And you just need to recognize it. And sometimes I don't always, I love going to services, but I don't always go. And much like, I'm sure, all of us. And sometimes sometimes I go to services, and then sometimes I just take 3 deep breaths, and I recognize the holy time that I'm in, you know? And it's just about being present and being a part of this time that Jews have paused forever. I mean, forever. People have been pausing on Friday night, and it's beautiful. So that's what I wanted to share, and I really encourage everyone to indulge in Shabbat. It's so sweet, you know. Just soak it in. It's really wonderful. That's it. Shabbat shalom, everybody.
We're glad you're spending Shabbat with us because your enthusiasm is contagious. Everybody else glad that they're having a holy Shabbat today? Say, aren't you glad you're here? Gary, do you want to come up and do this? Call up the president to tell us something about what's going on in the world, in our world. But we got a lot of stuff to do before next Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom. We want to welcome the confirmation class of the Broadmoor First United Methodist Church. Thanks to Charlton and Susan for leading our blessings. And we welcome our ISJL Fellow, Kesler Friedman. Kesler will join us tomorrow morning to our study at 9:45, and for services tomorrow morning at 11, and tomorrow night at 7 p.m. She will also be working with teachers and students all weekend. Tomorrow night we'll have a special Slichot program with short, thought-provoking videos and discussion. Havdalah, changing the Torah covers and pulpit covers to white, and a special brief service in preparation and anticipation of the days of awe. Their tradition is to start after midnight, but we will begin at 7 p.m. and hope to be finished by 9-ish. Red River Radio will have special programs with music and stories for the Jewish New Year and holidays. The first program will be Monday evening at 8 p.m. For a complete list of programs and descriptions, go to the Red River Radio website, check the B'nai Zion bulletin, or contact the office. This year for Rosh Hashanah evening and all the Yom Kippur services, we will have a special cantorial soloist in addition to our wonderful choir. Spencer Reichman is in Shreveport this year with the Shreveport Opera Express, but will lead us in our worship music for the High Holy Days. Rosh Hashanah services will be this Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. in Lefkowitz Hall and Thursday morning at 10 a.m. in the sanctuary. The children's service begins at 12:15. We will cast our sins into the water on Thursday at 4 p.m. We symbolically use breadcrumbs and meet at the Glen at their main entrance where there's a covered area so that we can meet rain or shine. Yom Kippur Kol Nidre service will be Friday, September 29th at 7:30 p.m. Yom Kippur morning service begins at 10 a.m. Saturday, September 30th. Have you told us what you will do to help with the nifty Southern Conclave? If you have room for 2 or more teens, that's great, but we also need people to drive between host homes and B'nai Zion. We need financial contributions as well. We need help with some food and snack things. Please fill out the form online or in the office to indicate how you can help. The conclave will be November 10th through 12th. There are many ways to help with the recovery from Hurricane Harvey, including a few recommended by the Reform movement. If you don't have access to a computer to be able to check online, you're welcome to contact the office. Donations were made to B'nai Zion or for pulpit flowers in loving memory of Lily Bernhardt by Bobby Goodman, in loving memory of Elma Harold Law and Charlton Meyer Jr. by Gloria Meyer, and in loving memory of Donald Yale Rosen by Gloria Rosen and the Avinsky and Rosen families.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you. We get more and more holidays as time goes on. That was short, I think, compared to what we're going to have in the next few days. I am now going to invite everybody under the age of 13 who wants to come up to help me open the ark. Everyone else is turning to page 148 and getting ready to stand up when the ark is open. That's it? Okay. Marguerite's not coming? Hurry, hurry. All right, open the ark. Open, open, open. Open, open, so everybody can see. Yeah, I thought so. Come on here. Come on over. Help me out with this. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, la'tet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asano kegoy ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gohur aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu koreim, ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. And on the opposite page we sing ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו echad. When the ark is closed, you may be seated. Take a good look. You're not going to see Torahs that are not white again for like weeks and weeks and weeks. Goodbye, colorful Torahs. They're going to be white starting tomorrow night. Thank you, everybody. That was awesome. You may be seated. We continue on page 151. In almost every Jewish ceremony, we have happy things that we remember and we have sad things that we remember. We do them together. At the end of our service, we also remember those who have died. There are some traditions that only those who are in mourning stand, but at B'nai Zion, everyone stands usually. You're not obligated to stand. But we all stand for a few reasons. One is that we don't like to single some people out. When you're in mourning, we want to show our support. We don't want you to be standing there and feeling the pain by yourself. But it's also the case that there are many people who have died, especially we think to the Holocaust, who have no one to say Kaddish for them. And so we take on that responsibility. We at B'nai Zion also acknowledge those brave people who run into danger for our sake. And we acknowledge that we have lost 23 military troops this year in the line of duty. We have lost 93 police officers in the line of duty this year, with 7 in September already. And we've lost 67 firefighters. We also remember those who died in the hurricanes, Harvey, Irma, the fires out west, the earthquake in Mexico. There have been a lot of tragedies, and we remember them. At the top of page 151, our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, let us meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. We continue on page 152. It is hard to sing of oneness when our world is not complete, when those who once brought wholeness to our life have gone, and naught but memory can fill the emptiness their passing leaves behind. But memory can tell us only what we were in company of those we loved. It cannot help us to find what each of us alone must now become. Yet no one is really alone. Those who live no more echo still within our thoughts and our words, and what they did is part of what we have become. We do best homage to our dead when we live our lives most fully, even in the shadow of our loss. For each of our lives is worth the life of the whole world. In each one is the breath of the ultimate one. In affirming the one, we affirm the worth of each one whose life now ended, brought us closer to the source of life, in whose unity no one is alone and every life finds purpose. However brief may be our time on earth, O God, you endow our fleeting days with abiding worth. We now recall the loved ones whom death has taken from us this past month, and at our congregation we remember Raymond Murov, Dr. Leonard Goldman, and Stephen Muslow. If anyone here has someone else they've lost in the past month, I invite you to call out their name. We remember parents of congregants who died within the past year. They are Kurt Strauss and Shirley Seligman. And we remember those who died at this season in years past. We take them into our hearts with our own. Those for whom we're observing the anniversary of death include Bella Abramson, Hyman Batt, Richard L. Bailey, Lily Bernhard, Mary Harris Block, Avery S. Kant Sr., Abe B. Fryer, Joe Gold, Adele B. Goldstein, Gerald S. Goodman, Israel Gringus, Esther Guggenheim, Leonard H. Hyman, Bernard Kallenberg, Bobby Kemper, Pearl Cooper Crandall, Elma Harrell Law, William B. Levinson, Hyman Lipson, Leon Loeb, Esther Mandel, Charlton Meyer Jr., Ben A. Phelps Sr., Donald Yale Rosen, Henrietta Rosen Simon, Goldie Siegel Toys, and Earl Loeb Weiner. In this moment of memory, our griefs and sympathies are mingled. Loving God, we rise as together we praise your name. The Mourner's Kaddish is found on page 154. It is a prayer that we recite in Aramaic. The transliteration is just below it if you want to try to read with us, or the translation is on 155. It is a prayer that does not mention death. It is a prayer that only praises God because we thank God for having had our loved ones in our lives. We read together with the mourners. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah ve'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayachon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehe shemei rabbah mevarach la'alam olamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei d'kudsha barichu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'ne'emata da'amiran ba'ama v'imru amen. Yehe shalama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. Amen. You may be seated. I'm going to ask everybody who is under the age of 13 to pop back up again, because we have some refreshments out there. We call it Oneg Shabbat because Oneg means, who knows what Oneg Shabbat means? Does it mean the food of Shabbat? No. The front row knows. The second row knows. Guess what? That's another Papa one. We're running out of Papa ones. It is tiny. Look how cute that one is. Papa made that one for you guys. How cool is that? Hold on to that. Be careful. Marguerite, come away from the steps. Makes me feel nervous that you're the one who stands closest. Thank you. Although those shoes look magical.
These are so much diamonds.
I know. They look magical. Oh, my gosh. They do. They look... What? Oh, my goodness. They light up like Shabbat lights up. That's what we're going to say. It's awesome. Oneg means joy. Oneg Shabbat is joy of Shabbat. That's why we eat. Ready? You want to start us off?
Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful cry is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz te'avon.
Everybody take some. Yeah. You got it. Go ahead, take them. Take them. Share it. Take it back. Share it. Oh, they're so nice. The congregation under 13 is brought to you by Ricky and Maureen. It is true. Please rise for the closing benediction. It's a blessing to be here together to take this, you okay? This holy moment that we call Shabbat. I got this if you want it. Okay, good. This holy moment that we call Shabbat. Thank you for taking that holy moment with us. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you. May God protect you. Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May the light of God's face shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's face be lifted up to you. We like to think that God will have something that God is looking for, that God looks up to you about. And may God grant you peace. Shabbat shalom. Ya ba bim bam, ya ba ba bim bam.